You do not speak with anybody other than the next of kin. No friend, no neighbor, or mistress. We're racing Fox, CNN, what have you. We gotta be first. Avoid physical contact. In case you feel like offering a hug or something, don't.
I'm not gonna be offering any hugs, sir.
The Messenger, the story of Joan of Arc.
Yeah, no, not that one.
Not that one.
But it is a holiday tale of joy and... Oh, wait, no, it's not.
No, it's not. Anything.
Anything with the messenger is part of don't kill the messenger.
Exactly. It's going to be bad news.
There's even a movie called The Messengers, and it's about evil ghosts. So anytime you deliver a message in a movie, it ain't too good. That message is always bad.
In other words, don't work for FedEx. Ask Tom Hanks.
Yeah, even then, you think you're delivering good shit, you end up on an island somewhere trying to take your own tooth out with a rock. I mean, so in this movie, it's definitely bad. What we have here is, on the surface, very simply, it is a story of two soldiers, a staff sergeant and his superior, a captain, who's trying to show him the ropes of how to go about delivering the bad news to families that their loved ones have died in the Iraq War.
I really don't understand what was wrong with email, but that's just me.
Yeah. I can't wait for the day they get robots to do that shit for you.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that. You open your email, you have mail. Your favorite son has died in Iraq. Also, I want to show you how to enlarge your penis and save money on your mortgage.
Well, you know, I mean, at the very least, send a clownogram.
Something, yeah.
Come on, man. Nobody sends clownograms anymore.
I guess clowns are creepy now. Yeah. But, you know, a stripogram or something.
Oh, yeah.
Your wife is dead. Check out my boobies.
Oh, you know what? It'll be one of those. Do you remember that whole internet thing where it's like read the fine print and you get up close to the screen and they show it like, you know, that face of a skeleton that goes, and scares you? It'd be like, you scared? Wow. Well, after this, it's probably not so bad to hear that your son got killed in Iraq.
Yeah.
No, you'd be like, you go up to him, you go, look, I have some bad news for you. Your entire family died in a bus accident. What? No, I'm just kidding. It was just your son.
It was just one. Yeah. Well, I guess if you count the numbers. No, I agree with the stripogram thing. I mean, you, at least for the fathers or the uncles or whoever was over that kid or whatever that died, I mean, you send a stripogram, the father's like, getting a good lap dance. He's like, my son wasn't shit anyway.
Well, the least thing the government could do is pay for a decent call girl, so I'm saying.
Yeah. He was going to jail anyway, shit, before he joined the military. Fuck him.
Well, see, y'all looking at it that way. At the same time, that might ruin the whole stripper experience for you. Like, the next time you go to a strip club, or you can think of like, last time I had a girl do this, my son died. Man, I would be pissed if somebody ruined strip clubs for me.
Yeah, nothing's sadder than some dude crying while getting a lap dance.
Or better, or worse, sitting up there having flashbacks. My son's dead. What? Say, take that back. Take it back, bitch. Take it back. See the security coming throwing your ass out. But no, it's in this. We're making like jokes and everything, but this movie does show you how awkward and terrible that job is to do. I mean,
top 10 worst jobs ever.
Oh yeah,
top 10, shit, top 3. I mean, I'm thinking about maybe shoveling shit is worse, but I'm thinking like, man. In movies, okay, it's kind of like Pulp Fiction. What did Pulp Fiction do? They showed us like the other side of the hitman. The guys that usually come in, kill the people, and they disappear out of the movie. You never knew anything about them.
Or Clerks showed us the other side of the convenience store.
Oh, look
Star Wars showed us the other side. Being a farmer in outer space.
Yeah, we show what aliens really do look like in outer space and how they live and shit. No, but in this movie, think about it. I mean, and we always get these dramatic films where we have two soldiers show up and they're like, man, we regret to inform you that your son has died. And then they disappear. You never see them anymore.
That's absolutely true.
We never see the impact, what it's like on the people who have to bring that bad news. And that's what they do in this film. I mean, it's to the point where once we see one really bad experience with it, we get nervous whenever they have to like knock on a door and say what has happened.
That's what I loved about this movie, because every time they would go to somebody's door and knock on it, you didn't know what to expect. I mean, it really is, you know, when it comes to death and grief, people have reactions all across the spectrum. You can't judge them. You don't know what they're going to be. And you know none of it's going to be positive. I mean, nobody's going to go like, well, okay, at least we get to collect the insurance. It's always like a lot of tears. You know, sometimes people are angry. Sometimes they're violent.
It's totally unpredictable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is the type of movie that, because of the subject matter, is going to depend entirely upon the performances. And surely enough, that is the greatest strength of this film. You've got Ben Foster as sort of our anchor character, the young new guy, the staff sergeant who's come in.
Staff Sergeant
The
Will
veteran
Montgomery.
war hero.
Yeah, he's Staff Sergeant Will Montgomery. He's a short timer, has 3 months left. He's considered a war hero in Iraq. Yeah. And for the last 3 months that he has left, somebody just decides to give him the job.
Let's fuck with him.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, you do this shit, you're going to be out pretty soon. And the person that is over him is Woody Harrelson's character, Captain Troy Stone.
Yeah, this is his year. He's Woody Harrelson.
Man, Woody Harrelson in 3 big movies.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if this is big.
Well, this isn't big, but it's like his best performance.
Yeah, it is.
Well, it's the most performance oriented, that's for sure.
That is true.
But Woody Harrelson
really
comes on as kind of like a, sort of a crazy guy. You first see him, you're like, oh, okay, he's kind of gonzo, he's kind of an asshole, but he's his superior, he's got to listen to what he says. But wow, what character development over the course of this story.
Well, you really get to know him, and you see at first you're like, wow, how could this guy have been doing this for so long and not be totally fucked up? And then you're like, oh.
Well, again, the movie throws a curve at us. We think that it's going to be this film where because in every movie that we see about the military, there's a divine barrier of this person is your superior, this person is the follower in the chain of command, lower in the chain of command, and that's how they are. They stay very structured and very rigid, and they don't depart from that. This is the breakdown of those barriers. This one guy who needs some humanity in his life, and he also kind of has respect for Ben Foster's character, because you could tell that Woody Harrelson's character wanted to be a war hero and never had that chance to do it. So there's this thing where he really needs this guy. So all that protocol is broken down to show you how these two guys develop, albeit a very awkward but close friendship through the course of the movie.
Well, Woody Harrelson has this very distinct set of rules. So basically to make this tolerable really for him, like don't touch the person, don't say certain things. I mean, they're very strict and very specific. And Ben Foster's character starts to find that he just can't do that. I mean, these are people just devastated with grief, and he's supposed to remain a robot. And it gets much worse for him when he forms a sort of odd relationship with what's her name?
Samantha
Morton, who is looking a little big in this film, but that's fine. She's still very tasty.
Tell me something, because what was she ever hot in?
I don't know, but still.
In America?
There you go. In America. Thank you.
Oh, that was her in America?
And that was her also in Minority Report.
Yeah.
Oh.
Where she was.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
Okay,
so she was never hot. Okay, thank you.
See, that's what y'all are complaining. Like, I like Samantha Morton. I think she's attractive because I think she looks real.
I think she's a great actress. I just don't think she was ever hot. But that's not her job to do that. Her job is to be a great actress, and she has been.
This isn't one of those movies where you're judging her on how hot she is anyway.
Samantha Morton, baby.
You brought it up first.
That's true. That's true.
Hey, baby, I like you. I think you are very hot.
Yeah, she looks like a normal woman. And that's,
these motherfuckers.
That's kind of good here because she's playing, the left behind wife of a military guy who died. She's left with a kid, and she looks like, a normal woman. She's not getting all dressed up. She's not showing up all Hollywood and stuff. She's wearing raggedy old T-shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
And Target brand jeans.
Yeah. Definitely Target brand. I think there was a Target on her shirt.
Well, there was a Target for Ben Foster because he moved right in on that shit.
Well, which, you're watching that like a car accident. You're going, don't do it, dude. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And it's odd that the movie takes away your expectations for how this is going to go. It really does. It subverts how you expect that relationship to play itself out.
Well, what I love is, like, I believe, Korey, you told me that in the press notes, it said this is the story of a guy who's supposed to deliver the bad news to people, who ends up who has an affair with one of the people he has to tell that, your husband died.
Yeah.
And so you think, okay, when that starts to happen, you think that's what this movie is about. And it's really not.
It is not.
That's a sidetrack.
Whatever.
Sure, that's in there, but it's not the crux of the movie.
And at first I thought that, because I was interviewing the director, and I was like, how do you feel about the movie being pitched that way? A soldier who's told not to get into a personal relationship with the families of these victims, falls for a woman who has a fallen soldier that was a husband of hers. And now that I think about it, I'm like, you know what? Maybe that's a cool thing, because people will come in and they will get more than they expected out of this movie.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not even a part of it. I mean, the real heart of this story is what is happening. Well, first of all, with Ben Foster, because, he's damaged some kind of way. We don't know, but of course we find out later on through the movie. And it's kind of made obvious in the beginning of the movie, because not only is he coming back with war fatigue, but he can't even have the woman that he wants, played by Jenna Malone, who is having sex with him, but is in love with another guy, but he's obviously in love with her.
Which, speaking of hot chicks, we do finally see Jenna Malone naked in this film, which is not anything to complain about.
Boy, that was not a body double for her. That girl is fine.
And which makes it hurt all that much more when he has to go to the engagement party and you see what her fiance looks like.
Oh, yeah, who's
like,
looks like a hipster doofus.
Oh, yeah, you're like, dude, there's no way you would choose him over me.
Well, girls are weird, man. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, he's right. Just keep saying yourself, girls are weird.
They make weird choices. I mean, I don't know what my girlfriend's doing with me, and I guarantee you there's some guys in her past who are like, what the fuck?
As a matter of fact, now you bring it up, you don't know what she's doing right now.
Yeah, you better stop this podcast and go home and see what's happening.
I'll be right back for the wrap up.
Because the co-host is always at your door.
That's an interesting point.
And girls love machines.
What kind of batteries does he use? Does he have a GPS built in?
I'm sure Mary has them in a drawer somewhere if she needs them.
I'm not afraid of machines. I'm a man.
That's what John Henry said right before he died.
But you know something? This movie, I mean, whatever this movie is about, because it's going to be really hard for some people to watch this, even though the movie does have a good dose of, and maybe comedy is the wrong word, but humor. There is a good dose of humor in here, because as we go along and see Woody Harrelson and Ben Foster's characters develop this friendship, I mean, they become friends who behave like we do.
Oh, yeah.
They take trips, they hit on girls, they drink beer together. I mean,
they go through the same type of difficulties and growing pains in their friendship that we did, where it's like, there's misunderstandings, they get pissed off as hell at each other, and then they're like, well, yeah, I mean, obviously we were drunk, so.
Well,
I never should have killed your hooker, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. You paid me back, it's okay.
Honestly, it had something that I feel like we haven't seen in a lot of movies that should be there, which is a growth and a development in the characters, in their relationship, because they're almost enemies when this starts. And, they do become pretty good friends later, just having that kind of thing happen. It's just like, it's the most basic element of storytelling, and yet there's so many movies that have come out that haven't had that.
See, I still wish I could love this movie as much as you guys did, because I see all the same things you're talking about, and yet there's something about the overall atmosphere that left me a little bit cold in watching this. I felt like at the end, even though it is an up note, it still felt kind of like a artificial up note. It didn't feel real to me or natural. I didn't know how to feel about everything at the end, and maybe it's one of those things I need to percolate about more and just let sit and think about, but I guess I never really connected with any of them. I felt almost clinical watching it.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I had the complete opposite reaction to where, I don't, usually stuff with the military, I don't really get into that much. And this had enough of a balance between the pathos and the humor and what was going on that, man, I really got into it. I mean, Korey mentioned to me, he said like, man, I thought about this the next day and it affected me. And when I saw it, I was like, I think I got it the first day. But then the next day I woke up thinking about it and I almost started crying. I mean, it really hit me hard.
Yeah, it really hit me hard too, and I can't tell you why. I mean, there was just so many things going on in this movie. I mean, we have the story that's the most obvious, where they have to tell these families terrible news, and that bothered me to a certain point. And it was only helped by really moving performances by people that just came in for cameos, like Steve Buscemi, who just gave it an incredible just total of like 4 or 5 minutes in this movie.
Yeah, and but it's totally moving in his 2 appearances.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one of the strong, in those matter of minutes, just minutes, he gave like one of the strongest performances I've seen this year. And I was like, wow, the performances in this movie is really making me think. I mean, these people, this is one of those movies where they don't tell you everything. And that's why I thought about it, because there's so much subtlety in what's going on with these characters that you are left not only to think about what's going on with them on your own, but you just left thinking like, what if I was in that position? How would I react? What would I do?
Maybe it's just for me the lack of being able to identify, or maybe it's just that I don't want to think about dying. I don't know. Maybe
it could be. I mean,
like my brain won't let me go there because you know what? Let's not.
Well, I think some people want to feel like you. They're going to feel like, I mean, maybe not exactly like you, but it's a hard movie to digest.
Yeah, it is. Like, I don't want to think about this.
Yeah, and it's rough. I mean, for the first few minutes, I mean, it is nothing but going from door to door selling death. Yeah. And I mean, and if you get tired of that after the first 3 times, then you're going to give up on the movie. But if you can stick with it after that, I think it's a very rewarding film.
Well, I think what it has going for it is, like, while it has all those things you just said, like that negative feeling that just drops to the pit of your stomach, there is plenty of humor in there. And they develop these characters in a way where you really get to know them early on. And so they do things that are funny. And then when tragic things happen to them, you feel them that much more. And two actors like Woody Harrelson and Ben Foster, man, these guys are just so good. It was almost like, man, which guy is acting better than the other? I mean, you don't want to measure it on that scale, but it really was just amazing between the two of them. I got to say, to me, this is like, I always drive me crazy when you do this, but I would say Woody Harrelson really deserves an Oscar nod, if not a win.
There's 3 performances in this movie, possibly 4 if you count Samantha Morton, but there's 3 solid. Yes, that they need to have an Oscar nod, and that is Woody Harrelson, Ben Foster, and Steve Buscemi.
Well, this is Woody Harrelson's Don't Forget About Me. I'm not only a good character actor, but I can act.
Yeah.
And he really proves it here. At first, you're kind of like, okay, he's playing that character that we've seen him play before, kind of mildly rednecky, hard ass, but he's so much more than that. There's so much more depth, and he takes a really complex character on the page and manages to sell it to you on the screen.
Tell you, man.
I mean, man, if he had only been a retarded slave in this movie, he'd have it sewed up.
And that motherfucker's becoming one of my favorite actors, man.
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson. I mean, I can't tell you why, but he's just been in so many movies where I've been like, oh, well, damn, I really did love him in that.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. Look, let me tell you something. This guy, Oren Mover, man, I don't know what he's done to bring such great performances out of these people. Maybe it's just because his script is so great. But I love this movie. If there was any complaints that I had, and I do have some, I'm looking at it, the movie's long. So when the movie's long and I'm like actually thinking about it, I'm thinking, what could they cut out? And I could find about probably 2 or 3 scenes in that film that they could have cut out to make it a little bit shorter and move it along a little better. But whatever complaints I had, the strong performances in this movie are what helped me get over that. And I give this a definite full price.
I never had a problem with the length of it. If I had a problem with anything, it was the shaky cam, and it's only because I'm just a little tired of seeing shaky cam. But to me, this is a movie that's full price, bordering on better than sex.
Wow. I still can't believe y'all like this as much as you do. I mean, I'm happy that you
know
do.
how I am with these small movies.
No, I know. And this, to me, the strongest thing about it is the character study nature of it. I mean, these actors are so good in these roles, but as a story, it did eventually end up leaving me a little bit cold. And maybe there's something y'all that tagged with you guys, that connected with you, it just didn't with me. But you can't help but admire everything that they do, in fact, get right. It's a very high matinee for me.
What the fuck? You got no heart. No, I understand.
Hey, I can't fight you on that.
I understand. I understand where you're coming from.
I ain't like these people who saw Where the Wild Things Are and went nuts. Fuck you, Spill Crew. What the hell? You got
matinee. Well, you never had a childhood, you bitches. Fuck y'all.
Now, you gentlemen, I have a soul. I have a whole jar of them I've taken.
Fuck you, Leon. The Fourth Kind was awesome. Just because you don't believe in aliens.
I did fuck with you on that.
Man,
he don't believe in God.
It's like I'm being just as hard as he is, and yet they don't say a word.
Nobody said anything to you.
And they do that every time. We'll be like talking shit about something, like he's the one who gets the run of it. Like, yeah, but we like science.
I just can't believe that. Like a movie about aliens, some people came and say, "You don't believe in God? How could you like this movie?"
Well, one guy was like, "Oh, you believe in God, but you don't believe in aliens? Psh, how stupid is that?"
I know. I was like, you're new, aren't you?
Yeah, you just got here. We got a fresh one here, guys. I got to tell you, though, man, how nervous do you think these guys were when they had to deliver the news to a black woman? Because the black women always are the craziest ones when they hear the news. Like,
I'd be in full body armor.
Well, but they tend to fall out.
After they attack.
They are the ones who are going to like slap you in the face.
But they're the ones that attack first. They'd be like, not my baby, not my baby. And they go for your throat. And they're like biting your throat. Not my baby.
Don't you say that, swag.
Yeah, get this bitch off me, man. Help. I just wonder what it's going to be like if they ever had to deliver the news to Bruce Banner that his son died. Don't make me angry till my son's alive.
We walk into these people's lives. We don't know anything.
Trust me. You don't want to know.